Hey everyone, so what we're going to be doing today is putting on this vinyl stick-on window covering that basically adds kind of a foggy look to the window so that you can't see through it. We have a neighbor's house right next door, and they have a window that basically looks directly through this window in our bathroom. And while the angle may keep you from seeing anything, it makes you feel a little uncomfortable when you're in the bathroom, you know, about to take a shower or use the bathroom or something like that, and you look up and make eye contact with the neighbor. It's a little weird. So let's get started.
All right, so the first thing is you want to get the measurements for your window. Now, I found this Velamax roll on Amazon. I'll add add a link to that in the description down below. But I just wanted something simple. They've got other types that are different designs and stuff like that, but I really just wanted something to add kind of a foggy look to the window. Now, I opened up my roll. There's a little piece of tape that kind of holds everything together, so you just peel that off. Then I measured the long edge first, put a little mark there. Then I used this piece of wood as my straight edge and just laid it down on this cardboard. And then I just used a razor knife to cut off that edge. You could also use some scissors if you'd rather cut it that way. Then I take the whole piece of vinyl and flip it the other way, lay it down on the cardboard, and set the wood on top of it so that I can get the line cut on the long end. You just want to be real careful. Whatever method you use, either the razor knife or the scissors, just make sure you stay right on the line. All right, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to get your mix together, and that you're going to spray on the window to get the vinyl to adhere to the window. Now, I watched a lot of videos on window tinting because you're basically going to use that same method to get this to work. All you want is some water in a spray bottle, and you're just going to add, 3 or 4 drops of the dishwashing soap into the bottle just to give it a little bit of slip so that you can kind of slide that vinyl around while you're putting it on the window. Now, you're going to want to start with a clean window, so you want to clean it really well. I would recommend, get window cleaner, scrub it really well, and then do the whole thing again. You don't want any spots, any fibers, any smudges, anything like that on the window before you try to put this vinyl on. All right, and now I'm just going to do a test fit with the vinyl, see how close I got with my cuts, and if I need to adjust something now, I will. But more than likely, if it just overhangs a little bit, what I'll do is go ahead and get it on the window and then try to trim it up a little bit after the fact. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to put some paper towels. If you don't have a windowsill you're working with, this step may not be necessary, but I was just trying to keep as much of this soapy water off of that ledge as I could. Next thing you're going to do is just really try to soak down this window. You get a heavy coat of this soapy solution on there, and that will allow your vinyl to kind of stick to the window, but also give it a little bit of slip so that you can adjust it even after you've attached it to the window. This vinyl does have a backing on it, so the next step is we need to peel that backing off of it so that we can get to the clean underside of this vinyl so that we can go ahead and stick it to the window. Now I get it started on one end, kind of peel back maybe 5-6 inches, something like that, and start sticking that end of the vinyl to the window. Now again, you're going to be able, if you put enough soapy water on here, you're going to be able to move this around some before you kind of permanently get it in place. So just make sure you keep that window wet so that it'll slide and you can kind of get it in place after it's stuck on there. The main thing here is just go ahead and get it completely onto the window, and then you can kind of slide it around as needed. Now the top of my piece here of vinyl is actually the factory edge. I figured that would be the most square out of everything, so I'm going to go ahead and try to get that on first, and then if I need to trim up the other edges, I can do that. So I start by kind of positioning it, get the top nice and even across the top of the window. The one thing that this kit did not come with is a squeegee. I'll put a link to some if you are interested in purchasing one of those. I had this little piece of plastic, it's kind of like a little scraper. You wouldn't want anything metal, but this will kind of help me get all the air bubbles out. Next, you want to wet the outside of the vinyl with your same soapy solution, and that will help the scraper, the squeegee, whatever you are using, that will just kind of help it slide across the vinyl without snagging it and kind of pulling it out of place. And then you're just going to go kind of slowly make sure you get all of those air bubbles out of the vinyl. And once you have everything mostly in place, like I said, you may need to trim up a little bit around the edges. Make sure your razor knife is sharp so that it will cut as easily as possible without snagging onto any of the vinyl in the process. I did not get a new blade, and I should have before I started this process. But trim it up, trim it to fit, and then continue working with the squeegee just to get all of those air bubbles out of that vinyl. Once you get all those air bubbles out, you should be left with a nice smooth coat of this vinyl. That'll keep all those peeping toms from looking in your window.
Why you always gotta be peeping Tom?
I appreciate you watching. Hopefully this helps you out if you take on the same kind of project in your bathroom. Check out some of my other videos where I do some repair work, car maintenance, things like that. Like the video if it helped you out, and maybe consider subscribing as well. Have a great day.